Can you tell us kind of what appeals to you about the character that you're playing?
Whoa. Okay, so the thing is, what I like about the show is, and then I go to the character, it's the fact that it puts us as audience, as we go, on the place of these characters. Like, ultimately, the whole show is about choices. It's about what they're gonna do, facing obstacles, and how they're gonna act. And sometimes they're gonna be selfish, and that is gonna bring consequences. You know, and sometimes they will be pushed to be altruistic. You know, and think about the bigger picture and what to do each step of the way. It's the whole concept of the show, and I love the fact that there's an element here, which is my character, that is going to feed out of that all the time. So it's going to be when you're least expecting the most surprising ways. He's going to be, playing different roles in the same role, and being around the corner, waiting for them to fail, and pushing them to do that. So I like the fact that it's a non-obvious thing in terms of the plot. You're always on your toes, trying to figure out what's gonna happen, and things are gonna turn when you least expect it. It's really cool.
So they tell us you're the nicest devil we've ever met.
I don't know. I hope so.
Are you going to interact with each one of the characters that we see?
Each one of them, sometimes all together at the same time. It's gonna be a roller coaster. There's a lot of stuff, and when I say this, it's not me trying to sell the show. It's like there's a lot of information and stuff going on the first season. I don't even know how they're gonna.
So there's a huge myth arc, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Like what are some of the information that you could tell us?
Okay, so for instance, there's a lot of people showing up that we think they're. When my character says, there's a line that I say, nothing is random. So that's going to be the whole show. Everything that is going to come up, sometimes it will feel like it's random stuff, and sometimes when they overcome that event or that person, is going to come back, and it was sometimes that it was intentional and it was planned to. So the whole thing is going to build up till the apocalypse. So it's like like Trey said, this is a free version and a creative version of the Book of Revelation. So they're using the plastic side of the Book of Revelations, and they're feeding with human stories, and it's a journey. But there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot.
And your character is very sinister, but it's not immediately obvious to Vera. Obviously have information that she wants. But what can you tease about your interactions with the other characters, and how will they trust you, and how are you going to interact with them?
Well, all of his arguments. Now, I wouldn't say that this is the best example in the pilot. The scene with Chantel is clearly blackmail.
Yeah.
But all the other ones following this one is like he's coming with pretty good arguments. So he's using a lot of information, and sometimes he just raises the question. He's like, okay, so I have this and this. What would you do? And then he's not pushing anyone to do anything. But sometimes raising the question, it's all that he needs. It's all that it's needed. And it's tricky. Because he's making people face their own demons and their own fears and their own weaknesses, and it's like a good friend would do. You know what I mean? Sometimes your best friend is the one that tells you the truth about yourself. Sometimes, and is that a bad thing?
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the man is this character. It's like he's always in a thin line between what is wrong, what is right, and it puts the audience in this thing of, what is this guy? What's his point? What's his plan? What is going on? Is he a bad guy or not? Because he's actually it looks like he's helping this person or this situation, and so it's going to be constantly this feeling of, what's going on.
So are you a bad guy that you think you are? Or you're just tricking us to think you're a bad guy, but you're maybe a good guy, or a good guy that might be a bad guy?
I would say that about, like, in terms of my character in The Messengers, they're not good and evil. They're only circumstances. You know what I mean? You could be a potential killer if someone of your family, you know, would be like, and sometimes out of rage you become someone that you're not. So would that make you a bad person? You know what I mean? It's about circumstances and how you will act accordingly. So it's like, it's a thin line. It's a thin line. And sometimes you're a good person, but that doesn't translate in actions. So it's like, that's what the show is about all the time. And my character is like feeding out of that as we speak. It's really cool. It's a really tricky role to play, but at the same time, it's what I love because it's like it's I always on my toes thinking I'm not going to be able to do this, you know, and that's been my passion since day one. So not on this project since I started as an actor when I was 15. So it's like that's what I love. So it's been exciting.
So the scene that we saw with you talking to Vera, it was very reminiscent of like the temptation of Christ. I was just in the Bible, the idea that the devil tempts the Lord with, you know, something that he wants, food, water, rest. And I'm wondering, are we going to see a lot of biblical parallels like that? You said it was kind of like a plastic version of Revelation, so no.
No, not on my character, no. It's going to be as normal and as friendly and as human that you can possibly think. So, and that's what it's the trickiest part, because you know sometimes I wouldn't say that evil. I mean, if you're walking on the street and there's like a guy with a knife in a dark corner, you know that that's a bad guy, you know. But sometimes it's the one that is smiling at you and that it's actually the craziest, like this guy that just, you know, crashes the plane with 150 people in it. You'll never say that someone like him would do something like that, you know. So this is so. But no, answering to your question, not a lot of biblical parables.
So is your character the devil?
Yeah, we could say that.
Yeah.
We could say that. In this, at least in this version, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.